If I want you and I like you, I'm gonna get you. I got to have you. That's how I was in I. If I like you and I want you, I got you. That's booty talk. That's real talk.
Remember him? That's the Booty Warrior from the Boondocks, Season 3, Episode 9 in 2010. One of the most memorable characters from the show. But a lot of people don't know that Fleece is actually a very real person. The Boondocks episode was inspired by a 2008 episode of MSNBC's Locked Up Raw series. In it, Fleece immortalized himself in American meme culture with a description of life as a homosexual in the Kentucky prison system. His preferred method of procuring intimacy and a passionate monologue about how access to his fellow man's posterior is more important than water. Fleece inspired a generation of American boys and men to stay the f*** out of prison. Today, Fleece is in his mid-60s and is a free man. Even more shockingly, he claims he has never been convicted of a single sex crime in his life and isn't a registered sex offender either. Like every other newly released notorious criminal, he's been doing the podcast rounds, and his stories are so funny that one forgets how horrific the rape epidemic is and was in America's prisons. Also, many times he adamantly states that, number one, there ain't no shame in this game, and number two, everything in his interviews is documented truth. So here's the backstory to his infamous interview, how he became Kentucky's most notorious inmate, and the life and times of the Booty Warrior. Fleece Johnson was born into abject poverty in Lebanon, Kentucky. As a child, his family moved to the Southwick Projects in the west end of Louisville, the most violent projects in Louisville at the time. Fleece's dad beat him a lot, so he sabotaged things in the house as revenge when he was a kid.
So I used to have this problem when I was growing up, when my daddy and them used to whoop me. Like, don't put your hands on me, bro. I'm gonna get you back. Mama go open the refrigerator, the whole door come out. Daddy lay in the bed will fall apart. They know I did. I tore up shit. Tore up all my sister's Bobby dolls, my brother's train set. And my brother, Jelly, to this day, he don't know. I'm going to tell you, Jelly, I did it. He had a little Snoop dog, a little, cotton, little made out of cotton. And I tore it up and hung it on the door. That was his favorite little thing. And I thought about he was tore up about it. He ready to die over that little thing. All this, brother. I did it. Yeah. Man, you know. Man, you know.
This habit would turn him into a vindictive individual and would hurt him years later. At age 12, Fleece stole his first car. Fleece and his friends would steal cars, taunt police, and make them chase them for fun.
And I used to steal cars. I had a little gang. And we steal cars and we'll go mess with the police. I drive right up to the parking lot. When they change shift, run into one of them, cuss and make them chase us. And we had a position where we'll take them through the alley to initiate to get in our gang. You will have to do this. Bring the police through the alley. We be sitting on the cut. And when we see your car drove up out of the alley, we know they right in back of you. So when they come out of the alley, we'll hit them, flip their cars and shit.
Eventually, all of Fleece's gang members were caught, and they ratted on Fleece. But young Fleece was hard to catch.
And then one night on 34th Street, they blocked the whole street off in just a horseshoe, right? And it's about 30, 40 police cars out there, and all of them just open up, start shooting.
Wow.
And they thought they killed me. And the ambulance was already there, and the people in the projects came out. They heard all the gunshots and stuff. So the police told me, he said, if it wasn't for your nigga friends, we would have killed your ass. So I spit on him in the back of the police car. Well, he went for his gun, and the other police that was driving took his hand off the steering wheel to try to stop him. And we on Broadway, the car's going like that, and so they called back up and they took me out of there and put me in another police car, right?
They only spared Fleece because there would have been too many witnesses. The shooting made the front page of a Louisville newspaper the next day. Fleece was taken to a children's detention center because he was still a child, and the next day his dad came to the station.
So we could have got some money over there. But my daddy, he wants to go up to the police station, tell him that he ain't gonna file no lawsuit, that he taught me a lesson, and all that. He was just talking stupid, and I just got up and ran up out of the little office room, came outside, two police was talking, and one of them's car was started, and I jumped and stole it right there and there, right? Stole the police car, right?
Right. At age 13, he started carrying nickel-plated .45s that he used to rob craps games, dope fiends, and prostitutes. And by age 14, he had a reputation as a feared thug in Louisville that wasn't scared of the police. When Fleece was caught at age 15, he was such a nuisance that they sent him to the penitentiary regardless of a law in place preventing juveniles from being sent to adult prisons. He was locked up for 16 robberies, 8 shootings, and a car theft, and he took a 12-year plea agreement. He was first sent to LaGrange Reformatory, and despite having 2 brothers, cousins, and friends in prison already, he was terrified. You should be scared too, about your online privacy, that is. A VPN, a virtual private network, masks your IP address and encrypts your internet and connection, keeping you hidden from prying eyes. Meet Private Internet Access, the world's most transparent VPN provider. PIA ensures a worry-free and untraceable browsing experience. Content on streaming services is restricted depending on your location. PIA lets you change your geolocation and works with all major streaming services. So now you can watch anything from anywhere. Personally, I use it to change my geolocation to the US to watch the new season of The Boys while I travel. If you like to share files, PIA is one of the few VPNs that support P2P file sharing. PIA is available on all platforms: Windows, Mac OS, Android, Linux, and iOS. With one PIA subscription, you can protect an unlimited number of devices at the same time. Signing up for PIA is completely risk-free. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support. By using the link below, you can grab an 83% discount on PIA VPN. That's just $2.03 a month. Plus, you'll get 4 extra months completely free. Protect your online privacy today with Private Internet Access. Inside, Fleece bumped into a lot of people he had robbed on the streets, so he would fight often. Not long into his bid, Fleece noticed that every time that he go shower, someone would follow him and watch him.
I'm in the shower, and I picked up on it, and he was over rubbing his soap bottle over his chest, just staring at me like that. So I'm like, fuck's wrong with this nigga, right? So I'm looking this way, so every time I turn around, this nigga at me like this. And I seen all them muscles and shit, right? Then I look, I said, oh, is this nigga hard? You know, his shit is out, right?
Fleece feared him and knew he definitely couldn't take him in a fight. One day, Reggie decided to take his advances a step further.
So one day, you know, this went on and on. I ain't never said nothing to him about it. To be truthful, I was sort of like afraid of this nigga. For this nigga was this huge, man. I just said, God damn, I can't do nothing with this nigga here, man. Just ignore him, right? But one day he came out of the shower and brushed against me naked and said, excuse me. But I know nigga did it on purpose, right? So I said, okay, that's it.
Fleece knew what was coming and decided he had to retaliate violently. At the commissary, he bought a glass painting jar, emptied it, broke it into pieces, and wrapped one of the shards in a towel.
When I broke it, my hands are shaking. I said, man, I don't even know if I can go through with this or not, right? I broke the glass. I said, so I walked back in there. I said, if he touch me, let him touch me. Just don't walk in there and hit nobody, right? So He was doing his hair, slut that big afro, and nigga was blowing it out. He said, hey, I ain't say nothing. He said, you. I said, who, me? I had the glass up on the towel, right?
Yeah.
I said, what you want? He said, can you, he said, when I do my hair like that, can you put a rubber band on there? I said, no. Man, I ain't put, I don't never have. He said, what you mean? I said, no, man, I'm not putting shit on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said, grab my hands and then like, he said, they smooth.
This is in the shower?
No, this is in the shower room. He's not still in the shower. He's out of the shower. See, when you come out of the shower, they got a little platform right here where you can put your stuff up on, and they got mirrors. You can look in the mirror and comb your hair out and all this stuff.
I got you. It's kind of like a locker room.
Man, I stabbed shit out of that. I cut him with that thing and ran.
Fleece still doesn't know what happened to Reggie after he sliced him up. For that infraction, Fleece was sent to Kentucky State Penitentiary, aka Eddyville, a maximum security prison. On February 18, 1977, Fleece arrived at Eddyville. Eddyville was considered the worst prison in America at the time, and Fleece firmly believed he was sent there to get killed. By his 16th birthday, he was the only teenager in there. The rest were aged 30 through 50. According to Fleece, the entire prison was white and racist when he got in, and he'd see racial abuse and whites calling blacks the N-word often. But he was even more surprised at how docile the black inmates were. They wouldn't do a thing about it. More shockingly though, Fleece saw men being intimate with each other for the first time and men dressed in women's lingerie. He learned that at Eddyville, the city had the most powerful inmates, and offending them could have gotten you killed by their husbands. That and they had to be addressed as females with titles of ma'am or miss. An unwritten Eddyville rule was you couldn't eat cheese because people would call you a rat for it. Fleece didn't care, and at the cafeteria he asked for cheese. He was served a whole block.
So when I get at the table, dude I knew, he said, man, get that off your tray, bro. They gonna think you're a rat. I said, who? He said, man, don't nobody eat. I said, man, I don't care. I'm gonna eat it, right? So when I heard the word rat, and I looked and found the table that it was coming from, it was about 4 of them real tough white guys. I went over and mopped that table, bro, went to the hole. So I guess they thought I was not gonna come back to the yard.
And when he got out, an older black man told him that he admired what he did and handed him a butcher knife for protection. He'd need it. Later, he'd see the same group of white guys he attacked. They were looking for him.
So I said, forget it. I said, I'm gonna die today, but I'm gonna take somebody with me. So I just pulled a knife out and ran straight, just running towards them. But before I got up on them, they all scattered. They was talking, hey, hold up, young blood. Hey, hold it, man. We didn't come for that, bro. We didn't come to fight. We didn't, hey, man, what you did, man, we admire what you did, man. I mean, I ate cheese all my life. I ain't know, you know. That was the first thing I changed in that prison.
Dang, as soon as you got there.
Yeah, I changed that right there.
And you was a young guy.
Yeah.
The whole situation gave him a rep in jail as the only black guy who would stand up to whites, and violently. Soon, Fleece would also learn that Eddyville was crawling with some aggressive freak that hadn't had some nookie in decades. They didn't go about satisfying their needs the consensual way either. One time, the prison had put him in a double cell with a big dude named Doc.
Can I stand up?
Yeah, you can stand up.
Okay. Picture.
Well, I can't, well, yeah, just.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
This is the wall.
Uh-huh.
The wall already had a hole in it.
Okay.
What he did, he took a plastic thing, like a balloon light, and blowed it up and poured some baby powder in it and blowed it up and tied it, right?
Okay.
Pressed it up and fitted it in the hole.
Uh-huh.
So now he took a little sheet like it, spread some cement over it. And when it got hard, he did like that, taped it around the hole, and then painted it. Well, you can't even tell the holes in the wall.
Right.
So at the time, when he wants your booty, he gonna argue with you about it, and then run his hand through that thing, and when you hear that thing pop, and he pull his arm out with all that white shit on it, the shit floating all in the air, you gonna think he done ran his fist through a goddamn concrete wall.
Oh.
So who wants to fight somebody like that?
Oh,
So-
I get it now.
So I'm sitting in the cell. He said, hey. I looked up at him. His eyes is red too. Big old, like I said, his nose about the size of my fist. Just a big black ugly. And he said, this cell is as much as yours as it's mine. I ain't say nothing. But he had some shorts on that had a bunch of holes in them. Every time he moves his leg, his thing will pop out one of them holes and shit, right? You know, acting like he's all, excuse me. He'll put it back in, then he'll move and it'll pop out again. I said, hold up, man.
Later at Chow, Fleece told his friends about Doc, and they handed him a small paring knife. He had already discarded the butcher knife.
So I took it in there. So now he got on some different type of shorts. These right here, the holes is like long like this, so a lot of it gonna fall out of these, right? So I'm sitting down on the bed. So he's walking around and he said, the hell with this. So I looked over at him and see what he's talking about, right? He said, I'm sick of it. He had a freak book. He said, I'm sick of reading this. So turn up the freak book, right? He said, I want man's real. So I ain't saying nothing. Well, what this talking about, right? I sat down and right. And he said, you hear what I'm saying? I said, what? He said, I'm tired of it. I gotta fuck, son. I said, shit, who this talk to? So the door's locked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, shit, you got me locked in with this would kill me here. I was thinking, right? So he said something. He said, his thing popped out. So I said, hey, and it's hard this time. When it popped out, it was up. So I said, hey man, why don't you show me some respect? He said, what? He said, the only thing I'm gonna show you is this big black up in your ass, nigga. And he hit that hole, man. That thing said, boom. And he was shaking his arm like, I could have sworn that I saw the wall shake, right?
And you had never seen that before, though?
No.
Okay.
I thought this motherfucker did this. I mean, I thought he actually ran his hand through this wall.
Yeah.
And it looked like his arm was stuck. And when he pulled it out, I seen all that white stuff over. I didn't know it was baby powder. I thought it was cement. And he ran up on me. He said, stand up. Stand up. Do I gotta fight you? Look at that. Hey, I couldn't even think, man. I'm like, I'm gonna give him some ass he ain't never had in his life, right? So I'm trying to figure out, no, seriously, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna fit this in. I mean, I'm looking at this shit, and it's like that. I'm like, shit, how can I fit that? I don't even know if I can fit that in me or something, right? He said, I said stand up. So I'm like, and I did like that because I'm left-handed.
Uh-huh.
But I had that knife right here.
Oh.
And when I moved it, it stuck me. I said, oh. Now I realize I got it. Cause at first I
because you was just panicking.
It just, hey, I'm getting ready to bend over any way you want me. And you're going to get some good ass, bro. I'm going to give it to you. Now, for real, bro, I'm not fighting this. But when I realized I had that knife on me, I did like that and sliced it. I sliced the fuck. Hey, excuse me.
No. You can say whatever you want to say.
I sliced this man so bad, man. He couldn't even get up. And he was screaming and all them inmates and shaking their door, hollering for the guard. So when the guard come up here, I'm over by the toilet, holding that knife, and I'm shaking it like that. I'm shaking it. They say, put it down, put the weapon down, put it down, just give it to us. It's gonna end up. They were talking, and he was right there laying by the door. He was just in a pool of blood that he couldn't even get up. And I'm like,
How'd you? What
I told him, I'm not putting nothing down. Get him out of this cell first. What do you want me to put the knife down? Let this I'm thinking he can get up and destroy me, right?
Yeah.
So they opened the door, and they put him on a stretcher. The nurses, everybody. I'm talking about, man, I ripped him.
Yeah.
And then
How did you?
I threw the knife over it.
No. I'm saying, where'd you slice him at?
Everywhere, bro. Ankles, up here, right there, all in the back, arm, leg. I was hitting him everywhere, right? You're not gonna get up.
Fleece was taken to the hold but wasn't charged for the attack because the guards knew about Doc's reputation. Also, at the time, being black and getting seriously hurt meant one less mouth for the prison to feed, so the guards couldn't care less. Fleece doesn't know if he killed Doc or not, but the story did go around, and now Fleece was known as someone not to mess with. By the time Fleece reached his 30s, he had never experienced any kind of intimacy with a woman. He'd beat his meat about 8 times a day and had done so for over a decade. He'd do it to calm down his violent attitude. According to Fleece, curiosity in men's prison devolved from beating off to nudie magazines to curiosity about sick. And Fleece himself had arrived at the final stage. He wanted the real thing. Fleece wasn't gay at all when he got in, and states that he was repulsed by it for years. But he thinks that anyone locked up for long enough will arrive at the same conclusion that he did. One day, a new inmate landed at Eddyville, and Fleece took a liking to him.
I was in there by myself. I said, I'm getting in the shower first. Sometimes it's better soon they open it up, get in and get out. Because you're going to see a lot of stuff in there, right? And so, when I heard somebody in the shower, so I turned around, and it was him.
The one you was cussing out.
I could see him from the back. Ass was like, God damn. I'm like, shit. It was like setting up. Motherfucker like setting up, and yeah, you know how you put that soap go down your back, and it go, you can see the soap go up. I said, shit. So I looked out the window and shit, made sure wasn't nobody else coming in to take a shower. I said, fuck this shit, man. I said, oh. He looked back at me, and I looked at him real mean, like, right? You know, real serious look, right?
Yeah.
So I said, shit, fuck it. I went over, I said, he said, yes. I said, can I get some of this? He said, you don't mess around, do you? I said, man, shut the fuck up. Can I get, I said, I'm gonna tell you what, you tell somebody, I'm gonna whoop your goddamn ass, right? You better not tell nobody shit. That was my first time. And it was in a man's ass, bro. I closed my eyes like that. I said, I ain't even know it could felt like it. That shit is good. You know, I ain't never had none.
Yeah.
Coming in as a child, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving this motherfucker a baby or something, man. Shit. I'm gonna give this motherfucker a baby, man. His ass is good as fuck, man. And so, I asked him, I said, God damn. I mean, my legs and shit was shaking, man. The first time I said, man, I'm shaking and shit. I looked up at him, he said, you all right? I said, yeah, I'm all right.
Over the years, due to exogenous hormones smuggled into the prison, evolved into having female shapes and even breasts on top of feminine behaviors. Fleece's appetite became more voracious. He became an expert at psychologically breaking newbies and even fake tough guys. He describes his past self as the booty master and a Casanova in that motherfucker, for his ability to talk a man out of his ass. He'd get it without having to fight or even ask. He'd pay, barter, and accept ass as payment for debts owed to him as well. With fresh meat, Fleece would do research and background checks on incoming inmates from the prison's move sheet to know their crimes and who they were connected to. And for the newbies who weren't connected or weak, he wholeheartedly believed that he was saving them.
Man, I done saved a lot of people in that prison.
I believe it.
People tell my wife all the time he saved my life and all that. She said, did you save, you actually saved that guy? I said, yeah. She said, you are so good. But she don't realize I saved his life because I was him. That's why I saved his goddamn life. I didn't say ain't nothing free, man. Shit. Put my life on the land and all that, what we're talking about.
Fleece's mind was fully geared toward life in the pen, and he wanted a wife. He wound up having consistent relationships in prison and was willing to kill over the men he was seeing. Over the years, he'd see a lot of gangsters turn into booty bandits during their sentences. Eddyville had over 150 bandits that would prey on any weakness. They didn't care how you looked. Respect is paramount in prison, and Fleece was willing to fight anyone over any slight. And in a fight, his mentality was to seriously maim or injure to prevent retaliation.
What happened to your teeth?
I got in my teeth, I had a full set of teeth. I mean, perfect. Pure white, just perfect. Well, I'm in a hole, so I'm getting in a fight with this, they said been in the army. Everybody telling me don't fight this man, this nigga's no judo, karate. I say fuck all that shit. I try whoever. You disrespect me, right? You just got to whoop me. So when we came out of our cell, I ran up on this nigga and I swung. Man, I hit with everything I got, bro. And nigga told me, oh, baby, you gotta come with something better than that. And the nigga come out with some army shit. And that thing, you know, he got me, I try to hit him and, you know, like the way we growed up, you pop a motherfucker, just scoop him. He's down, it's over. Man, I tried to scoop his nigga, he got me in a headlock, bro. I mean, a perfect motherfucking headlock that I couldn't get out of. I mean, perfect lock. And he was choking me, he choked me so hard, I fought it, bro. And that's when I panicked, right? I said, this is killing me. And all these motherfuckers standing around, I'm waiting on the motherfucker breaking shit up. Motherfuckers standing around just looking and shit, right? So I bit him. I bit this motherfucker. And when I bit him, he hollered, ouch. And he swung and hit me right here. And I thought he broke my jaw right here. I couldn't open my mouth. And that made me panic even more. So I'm doing like that, trying to break my mouth away from him, and then realize that I done tore all this open. I locked on this man.
Like a pit bull?
Yeah, I locked on it. Tore all this shit open. So here's what happened.
And he was a guard, right?
No, he's an inmate.
He was an inmate?
Yeah. One of them big, massive motherfuckers that come out of the military. They got a lot of them motherfuckers in prison. Motherfuckers come out of the army and shit, right? And so, when I seen the damage that I did, he got 32 stitches. I said, God damn. Shit. That's what I want to start doing, biting these motherfuckers, man.
Fleece was impressed with how much damage a bite could do, so the next time he bit someone's ear off. Later, he was pissed when he saw the same dude with his ear stitched back on. That's when he decided he'd start swallowing anything he bit off. Fleece bit lips, cheeks, and ears off of people, and even once bit a dude under his armpit and paralyzed his arm. No one wanted to fight him after that. After 34 biting incidents, the prison commissioner came down to Eddyville.
She said, hey, buddy, Frankfurt sent me up here because they want me to tell you, the next time you bite somebody, they're going to take all your teeth. I said, that's bullshit. They can't take all my teeth. That's against the law and all that shit, right? She said, well, I'm just telling you. She said, you got 34 bites.
Damn.
And I'm talking about motherfucker, I done bit them up here, took all this off. And then they can't give it back. Motherfuckers, I took their top lips and shit off.
And you swallowing this shit?
Yeah, they kill like this, no lip. Yeah, I swallowed it. You goddamn right. You ain't getting it back. You ain't sewing shit on you.
Because the motherfucker got his ears sewed back
Yeah,
on.
yeah, he
Like,
got his ears sewed back on, so I'm like, fuck that shit, bro.
Fleece didn't take them seriously, and he bit 2 more people after that.
So she come back, and a guard come up to my cell and say, hey, you got a visitor. I'm thinking it's somebody, my family or something, family coming to see me, you know. They took me down at the hospital and put me in what they call a restraint chair. Well, you sit in the chair, they can handcuff you to the chair. You know, it's made like that. So she come around the corner, she called me her buddy. She said, my buddy. She said, didn't I tell you? I already knew what they gonna do, so I said, look, whatever y'all gonna do, do it. So a nurse came in, gave me a shot, put me to sleep. So when I woke back up, they done took all my teeth out and sold my gums. Yeah.
To this day, Fleece's teeth are considered a lethal weapon, and he isn't legally allowed to have teeth or get dentures. Biting incidents aside, fighting would give Fleece multiple stints in the hole. More grievous harm would result in going to court and time added to his sentence. One time he went to court and got an additional 3 years for brutally attacking a man that threw piss on him. After that, he resolved that he didn't care if he ever got out or not. Fleece just couldn't stomach any disrespect, and his original 12-year sentence would turn into 40 over the years. Over constant abuse and mistreatment, Fleece fought the guards at Eddyville just as much as he did the inmates, and often, his weapon of choice was raw doo-doo or some contraption designed to eject it. During his sentence, he claims he'd be maced and tased over 500 times, tortured, waterboarded, and once had a whole can of mace inserted and emptied into his you-know-what. Fleece was the only inmate who would stand up to the guards, and for that, he spent a lot of his sentence in the hole, no pun intended. Today, Fleece fancies himself a maverick in the world of prisoners' rights. The chronological order is unclear in his interviews, but here's some of the times Fleece single-handedly waged war against the Kentucky prison system.
Fleece Johnson held probably the reputation of being the most violent inmate in the state. He has been known to tear sinks off the wall, toilets from the floor, you name it, he's probably torn it up.
And he claims he was costing the prison system $1 million a year. He single-handedly destroyed the prison's electric chair and did $650,000 worth of damage. It even made the newspaper. For that, they built a destruction-proof cell just to contain him at the North Point Training Center. They stripped him naked and left him like that for 8 months. He had no mattress, sheets, or blanket either.
So I think, fuck it. They won't, I'm not gonna die in there. So when I got done with him, I tore the whole door off, steel door. Tore the toilet off, tore the ceiling out, knocked the whole wall out. I knocked the whole wall down.
With what?
With a bed and a toilet. I took the toilet that I done tore off the floor and kept smacking it to the wall till it knocked the hole all the way through. I tore the whole wall down.
For that, he was cuffed and taken naked to the warden's office.
He said, take all that shit off of him. His name was Dewey Showers. And if he's alive, you can see me now, Dewey, smiling at you. Yeah, he was a nasty, cocky, country, hillbilly motherfucker. He said, take all that shit off of him. They said, Warden, he might go off. He said, he ain't crazy. He said, what's this on my desk? I said, it's a 38. He said, you believe it's loaded? I said, I know it's loaded. So when they took all the stuff off of him, he said, you see that window right here? He said, you see that fence? Yonder. That was his word. If you can make it to that fence, he said, I ain't gonna shoot number one time. You can run zigzagging, turn flips or whatever. If you touch that fence, I'll put you on the streets. I said, man, I'm not climbing out that window. Fuck that. So he told him, go throw him out. I was pitching them motherfuckers everywhere. You didn't get me out that goddamn window. So he shot the gun. Everybody froze. Now, you ain't supposed to buy
He shot it where?
He shot it right there in his office. And I bet you right now to this day that bullet hole is still in her. I bet you it is.
After deeming they couldn't really do anything with him, the warden gave Fleece all of his stuff back and even $115 worth of commissary credit. He then warned Fleece that if he acted up again, he'd shoot him. Naturally, Fleece didn't take the warning too seriously.
I walked across the loop, all the inmates walking. They said, who the fuck is this walking across the loop naked? I went to the private room, got my clothes and shit, went to the canteen. The warden already called them. They gave me all their canteen. I'm the only inmate in the hole with canteen. Cigarettes, all this shit. So, the same day they had a white girl named Carol. Me and her used to cuss each other every time she come on, old big titty, red-headed bitch. I used to fuck with her, cuss her out. So when she came on, she looked at my cell and seen all this shit in her. So she stood there and told me, she said, you know what, they some weak son of a bitches. Give you all that shit back. And remember, that warden told me if I get one write-up, he's going to come down there and go off. And just without me even thinking, I said, fuck you, bitch. She said, I'm writing you up. I said, write this up. I tried to spit on her and all this shit, right? So I said, fuck it. So here they come. I went off. I took all that shit and tore it up. Gave the inmates that didn't have nothing, been in a hole, ain't ate a cookie in 6 months. I gave them all kinds of shit. I said, now I'm ready to go off, fuck them. Man, that warden come over, a little fat motherfucker. He came over though. He said, what did I tell you? I said, what? He said, didn't I tell you, you do something else, what I was gonna do was shoot your black ass? I said, that's what you said, so what you gonna do? That motherfucker shot me.
In the prison?
Inside the goddamn prison. Shot me. Okay, didn't take me to the hospital. Had a prison nurse to look at. He said, just clean his wounds and bandage him up.
Fleece filed a lawsuit, but it coincided with his dad being convicted. The prison told him to drop the lawsuit, or they'd send his dad to Eddyville, where Fleece had a lot of enemies. So he dropped the lawsuit. Ronnie Youngblood was a model guard that all of the other guards looked up to, and he was primed to be the next warden. One time, Fleece and Ronnie bumped heads, and Fleece swore revenge.
He did something to me. I told these inmates, I don't care how long it takes, and I told him, I'm gonna get you, bud.
Yo, when Fleece said I'm gonna get you, that's like a death sentence.
3 years later.
I'm gonna quit my job right now.
Yeah, 3 years later. I'm on my way going home, getting ready to serve out my sentence.
And you don't forget nothing.
I didn't give a. They said, man, go home, man. What's wrong with you, nigga? You institutional? I ain't institutionalized. I said, first of all, stay out of my business. Ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm gonna get it. So I took a 5-gallon bucket of bleach and I boiled it for about 4 hours. And when he got in front of me, I went boosh. Everything fell off. I'm literally telling you, his mouth, just everything melted. So they said, they're gonna kill you. I said, well, I'm ready. I had a homemade knife and a real knife. So my door went open. Boom. I said, here they come. I stepped out in the hallway, man. I told all the inmates, I said, I'll see y'all in hell, bro. I'm out here. I said, come on, whores. All that old stuff. When they came around that corner, they had a dog First time I ever seen a dog in the prison, a wolf. That man took that thing off and said, kill it. That thing running down the hall like that, and I'm just standing. I said, man, what are you standing here? I ran and I grabbed my mattress off the bed, right? And trying to hold it. That thing came in that door. And I'm holding him, then here come another Rottweiler. He tried to jump over the mattress, so I had to jump off the floor onto the bed, and I'm in a corner now, right? I'm trying to stop him from getting me. Then the guard run in there, took his billy club, was trying to hit my knuckles, make me drop the mattress. And then that same thing. A knife stuck me, that was over. When I pulled that knife out, I hit that dog about 3 times, and he went over by the toilet. Then I killed the other one. The guard, when he seen the weapon, he ran. So
they let the dogs out, and then the dogs died.
Yeah, I pulled him out of my cell by his 2 legs. I said, take your son of a bitch. So threw him down the hall, and here's his buddy.
In response, the prison built the Silence of the Lambs type cell for Fleece. He was in there naked for 18 months, while Ronnie spent the same 18 months in the hospital getting skin grafts. One day, Fleece would get a surprise visitor in his new cell.
So after 18 months of being in naked, they didn't give me shit. I slept down there with the rats and the motherfucking lizards and all that bullshit. They bring this motherfucker in, the one I threw the bleach on. Fucked me up one day. It was lunch. They had brown beans and they had hamburger. No cheese, just hamburger and brown beans in a paper cup. They said, somebody's here to see you. I done forgot all about this motherfucker. I'm thinking, shit, I'll never see him again. This is 18 months later. A guard turned the corner with his face all fucked up and all this shit, and he had my food tray in his hand. They wanted him to get back at me. So he handed me my food tray, and it was a big old pile of spit in the motherfucking beans, brown beans. I mean, it was so much spit, looked like 100 motherfuckers spit in it. And the little paper cup, it was golden, just the darkest piss you can smell the shit. Soon they gave me the tray, I smelled the piss, right? Pneumonia smell like raw. And he handed me my tray. So it went through my mind right then and there. Oh, this motherfucker's trying to come back. And if I show fear right here, they gonna do this shit every day. They gonna put me in torment every day. So I grabbed the tray. I didn't use a motherfucking spoon, a plastic spoon or nothing. With my bare hands, I grabbed that big old pile of beans, threw it in my mouth, all of it.
With the spit in it.
With the spit in it, and ate it. Drunk the goddamn cup of piss and said, thank you, can I get some more? It was good. And when they looked at me, they said, oh, goddamn, he quit. That's when he said, I'm done, I quit. Good. Because if I didn't do it, he would have came back, he would have been the warden, and he would have made sure every day he would have did something to me. So I say, man, I'm in a situation right now where I'm gonna have to make a judgment call. You know, I said, fuck this shit. My body, I don't get sick anyway, right?
After making a ruckus on the cell block, Fleece was subject to a particularly emasculating punishment from the guards, one too egregious to include in this video. Fleece resolved to get the guards back just as bad, and thus the shit war began.
So when they let me down there for 6 hours, so when they let me up and then took me back upstairs, I told everybody what happened. I said, look, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're sick. If you got a shit, send it to me. I got something for their ass, right? So I had a 3-gallon bucket. People was passing it down. And you know, prison is nasty. They was passing the duty down in cups. And I poured in, who got some more? And then I took 3 cans of Magic Shave. You know, that stuff make your hair come out. And I took broken glass, right? Made it real broken and sprinkled it and I stirred it and I made it real thick. So when you try to rub it off, you be smearing it in yourself and the glass gonna cut into you. And the Magic Shade gonna take your hair out. Since y'all wanna call yourself shaming me, y'all gonna put me down and let now I got something for y'all suckers, right? So the main one had a big old beard. He came past myself. He said, "You want to speak to me?" I said, "Yeah." Boosh. Threw that whole bucket in his face. He backed up, took 2 steps backwards, fell on his knees, just started throwing up. And he did like that, and his beard came off. Half his eyebrows came off. I said, it's just. So I started it. The shit was in Eddyville. I did. I said, I'm going to get Ed. I threw it on the governor. I spit in the governor's face. I threw it on all them people that come out of Frankfurt.
Realizing its effectiveness, he'd also keep his patented Glock dookie handy to fend off other inmates.
Well, some dude came to me with a knife. He wanted to stab me. Big black dude. Out of Lexington.
Why you want to stab you?
Oh, we ain't arguments, man. You have arguments in prison all the time, right? So I said, I got something for him. So he had his little dudes with him.
It seemed like they wouldn't want to mess with you at that point.
No, they didn't. Yeah, you're right. Because when I pulled them I carried them things around like they was 9mm, right? I had lotion bottles full with shit, right? So when I ran up on him, he ran up on me. Something like that. So I popped the lids on the lotion bottles, right? I said, "What's up?" So he said, "Oh, man, he got that shit, man." I said, "Well, you got a knife?" And he backed up. I said, "Oh." And he started. So I chased him and shit, right? So that's when I realized that.
You could just leave it there. You could just put it on a. That's cool. Yeah.
That's when I realized what I had.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fight with this.
For the attack on the warden, Fleece got 21 years in the hole. He did 12. The only inmate in the history of the prison to do so. In the prison's general population, the other inmates continued the war, and when they threw it on the guards, it would disfigure them and have them thinking they caught a disease. This went on for 6 years, and during that period, guards were scared to come on the walk or fear being shitted down. Eventually, it stopped when the authorities made it a felony which could result in additional time. While a lot of people go insane within a few months, Fleece spent the entirety of his 12 years in the hole reading, and he learned how to file a lawsuit. When he was ready to press charges for all the abuse he had faced, 3 ladies from DC came to help him fight his case. The prison offered him freedom, money, and a house, but he turned it down to combine his complaint with an already pending class action lawsuit, Kendrick versus Bland. He did this unselfishly to fight for all inmates. Fleece was allowed to testify, and he claims the ruling in favor of the inmates was made due to his testimony. In the aftermath, the guards' billy clubs were taken away, cells had to be renovated, and hospitals were built. Fleece's testimony cost the state $200 million, and they hated him for it. For a while, Fleece had been a part of Eddyville's Scared Straight program, and he had a reputation for making the kids cry. One day the warden called for Fleece and asked him to do a doc for all the juveniles in the U.S. Fleece had already done 30+ years and had no intention of ever getting out, so he thought he'd do something good for once. But he resolved to shock America instead of giving generic advice to the kids.
Johnson went on to tell our crew how he used to satisfy his sexual desires, especially during the 1970s and 80s, when he was most active and prison security was more lax.
When I see one, and he looks good to me, when I go see him, I say, "You come here." I say, "I'm telling you what, I like you, and I want you. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way. So the choice is yours, right?" And it was always yet.
MSNBC come in and I want to do an interview. So I said, "Okay, I'll do the interview, but I'm going to say what I want to say." And so while we was doing the interview, at one of them that was interviewing me, I know he was gay, right? So I touched him. I said, if you was in her, I'll you. They panicked. They called the guards. Get him out of my cell, right? But he knew what I was talking.
The episode caught the attention of the writing staff for the Boondocks, and in 2010, Season 3, Episode 9 turned Fleece into an internet celebrity. Fleece didn't have any knowledge of just how famous he was till he unexpectedly got out.
Soon I stepped in that room, I told him to suck my kiss my ass, fuck you, fuck Frank, fuck all of you. Kicked the chair over and walked out.
Regardless, to his surprise, he still got paroled. Fleece was angry about it because he was living good at the time and had no desire or intention to get out. He even feels that he had beaten the system until they kicked him out of prison. Back in the free world, Fleece had it rough when he realized just how infamous he was. People recognized him on the street. He was fired from 40 to 50 jobs after background checks, and he's even been rejected by churches. When he pieced it all together, he suspected that the prison had asked him to do the dock to destroy his name. Revenge for all the money he cost him. Fleece doesn't like his presentation in the dock and feels he was made to look like a predator so he would have a hard time on the streets. He was equally aggravated by his portrayal in the Boondocks and has still never seen the full episode. Currently, Fleece is happily married to a woman and his wife knows his whole background story. He claims he's still open to going back to crime if things don't work out. And he only misses one thing.
If there's anybody out there that can help me on some booty, contact me, please. Can you do that for me? The booty man? Can you contact my manager and let him know that you got, send us some pictures of, I want to see what you got. I don't care if it's hairy or what, I miss booty. So if you can help me, I ain't asking for a change, I ain't asking for $2 or $3, I'm asking for some booty. Can you help me out on some booty? Any of you?